Hi everyone, my name is Dana Berman, and the purpose of this video is to focus on trills and how to make them clear and precise. Because a lot of times while playing violin, when people are playing trills, whether it be in etudes, concertos, whatever it is, orchestral music, trills are often not very clear and they can sound muffled and scratchy and things like that. So the purpose is, by the end of this video, to be able to understand, to have a better understanding of how we can improve upon our trills and have a result of a clear and precise one. So the first things to think about are what could it be that's preventing you from having a good and clear, precise trill. So the first thing, when you're holding the instrument, the first thing to ask yourself is your left hand tense? Because not only can tenseness in your hand result in bad playing due to whether you can or cannot move your finger fast enough, or you overshoot or undershoot your shifts and things like that, but it can have a negative effect on your health. It can really hurt your wrist and things like that. So I'm going to play a trill right now with a really tense hand. So it sounded pretty clear for the most part. However, the amount of pressure that I'm putting down on my first finger right now I'm putting way too much pressure down. So it's resulting in a pain in my finger when I trill, because my hand is so tight right now. And also, my thumb is locked. So that will eventually prevent me from being able to shift at all, really, because I'm kind of stuck where I am. So that's one thing to think about, and ask yourself, could that be why I'm not able to play a pretty good trill? Another thing to think about is whether or not your wrist is open or closed. So, like we learned when we were younger, how you hold your instrument, have the mirror face you. So you should be able to see your, quote, quote, see your face in the mirror. So if your hand is closed and you can't see the mirror, that's going to prevent you from also having a good trill. So I'm going to play one right now with a closed wrist. Not only is this not correct, but it is also resulting in pain in my wrist, because, again, it goes back to the tenseness in my hand. It hurts. It physically hurts to do it like this. So when you play it open, with an open wrist, the sound is even better. The sound automatically increases and the tone is better, and I feel much better while playing. There's no pain in my wrist. So that's another thing to think about regarding the left hand and tenseness and things like that in the left hand. So as for the trill, when you're trilling, sometimes you play you don't lift the finger high enough off the fingerboard, which can result in the muffled sound, so like this. You hear it's kind of muffled and scratchy a little bit. So that could be another reason. Another thing could be the bow pressure. If you don't have enough pressure while using the bow, it'll come out scratchy as well. So that wasn't very clear. So those are things to think about as to why the trill might not be coming out as precise as you would like. So what can we do to fix it? Well, an exercise to do is, this requires a mirror. You have to look in the mirror and do it. And just pay attention to your hand and the tenseness and things like that. Just do one trill and really pay attention to how your release is and how your attack is. So I'm going to play one trill. Easy like this. So I'm paying attention to the trill finger. Is that finger tense and locked when I release, or is it not? So if it is tense, that's the signal that you cannot move on, and you have to keep practicing and just make sure that you're relaxed and loose, because that is what will enable you to have a clean trill. So keep doing that. And as you go on, hopefully you'll loosen up, and if you have any tenseness in your fingers, just, again, relax and things like that. And as you keep going, add more trills. But if you feel yourself getting tense again, go back, because the tenseness will not allow you to be able to play clean trills when you actually have to play several of them in a row. So keep doing that as an exercise with all different fingers. The first finger. And pay attention to whether or not your fingers are locked and things like that. Those are important aspects of it, definitely. Another thing that we could do to fix this, again with the bow pressure, add more pressure when you're playing. Because if I don't, again, it'll be scratching. It just won't sound as clear. So adding more bow pressure will allow the notes to come out better. Another important thing to think about, like I said before, the distance and the height that you are lifting your finger while trilling. So if I'm too close to the fingerboard with not enough pressure on the bow, especially with up bows, it won't sound very clear. So when you think about it, if you lift your finger up higher and you get more height with the trilled finger, it'll sound clearer. And things like that. So that's another thing to think about. So that can give you a clear and a good tone, a clear sound and a good tone while doing trills. So right now I'm going to play the first line of Kreutzer Etude number 15 with the way that using the things that will prevent us from having clean trills, and then I will play it a second time using the things that we can do to improve upon our trills and things like that. So this one is with a tense wrist, a tense left hand, a closed wrist, not getting a lot of height on the trill, and not a lot of bow pressure. So that whole line of playing was not clear. It resulted in a little bit of pain in my wrist because I was so tense. And the bow pressure, again, it resulted in a scratchy, muffled sound, which we don't want. So now I'm going to play it a second time with the things we can do to improve the trill. So I'm going to have an open wrist, a loose hand, and trying to remember to relax, more bow pressure, and more height with the trill. So let's see how this goes. So not only did the relaxation of my left hand and more bow pressure and all the different aspects improve the trill, but it also helped improve my intonation, because with a tight wrist, wrist and a closed wrist, that is going to prevent you from playing notes in tune sometimes, like especially with the shifts, like I said earlier, and the locked thumb and the really tight thumb. Those are all the things that will prevent you from not only having good trills, but from having good intonation, which of course is very, very, extremely important. So those are things to think about while playing trills, and I hope that this video will allow you to be able to do exercises and things like that to play clean, precise trills. I hope everything works out. Thanks for watching.